And welcome back to the LEC playoffs. Rogue with a dominant performance in Game 1, very much what we used to see from them in the spring season. Perhaps their series against Mad, just a small aberration for them, Vedius.
Well, it takes me back.
Oh, goodness.
To summer
it's a story.
2020.
Here we go.
When Rogue were 3-0'd by Fnatic, and they had to shift their mentality. I don't know why I'm doing this accent. But in any case, they came back stronger.
Yeah.
Greater than before.
This is a mixture of Bane and Gentleman Cho'Gath.
Yeah.
That's what you've gone for here.
Exactly. Quite. Now,
okay. I mean,
the thing with Rogues, they've clearly...
Normal voice, Freddy. Come on, please. It's a big game.
They've clearly gone back to what worked for them before. Okay?
Yes.
And it's effective. They had a good draft. They executed upon it well. And Schalke kind of got shut down from start to finish. Honestly, like, there's very little to say. If this was the first round of playoffs, I think that everyone would just be like, yeah, things going as expected, right? But because we're in week 2 and people were hyped behind Schalke and Rogue struggled, there are obviously a lot of question marks, but I hope this now, like, you know, puts things back into perspective. The Rogue finished second for a reason. They have some of the best players that we have in the league. Pretty much all of them were considered top 2 in the during the regular season at the very least, you know? So, like, this is a strong roster, and Schalke were always going to have a tough challenge. Obviously, Game 1 did not go their way, but they've adapted before. When they went up against G2, they were down 2-0 in the series, and then they were able to swing it back. They almost got their reverse sweep. And even in that final game, they had a gold lead, right? So we know that Schalke can be flexible. We know that they can bring something new. The question is, what are they going to bring? What are they going to change? Now, Kevin is listening. So I'm hoping that he can tell me which side who is on.
Schalke on blue side, Rogue on red.
Yeah, so
I could have told you that, because I do my research before the game starts.
Yeah, but okay, Kevin, okay. I see you two are best friends now. That's cool. So I'm not surprised that Schalke's on blue. It was funny, when we had Dylan on the show last week, I was like, so hey, game 2, when you had side selection, why did you choose red? And he was like, I will never, ever choose red ever again. I will always choose blue. So it looks like he's sticking to that mantra. But they're going to have to change things up. We're moving into game 2 draft. So without further ado, it's time to cue the music.
And if into draft we go. The big thing in the last game for me was BrokenBlade was truly not allowed to have any impact on the map, even though he got a Flame Horizon and 2 kills over Odoamne, and Limit was stuck in the bottom lane. His roaming style was neutered by the way that Rogue played. So how do Schalke unlock Limit? Because he is so often the focal point for how this team finds success.
Very true. Very, very true. He did have that one good engage. Unfortunately, there was absolutely 0 follow-up on it. So, yeah, we'll see how things shift. Now, Thresh can be taken off the board, Senna as well. Tristana, I imagine, is also going to be banned. And then I expect the Hecarim first pick for Schalke. Ooh, Rogue going to ban away the Tristana, saying, you know what, we don't want to run the risk that you might have learned how to play this champion. Prior to this, Schalke was just perma-banning the Tristana regardless of what side they were on. So I am surprised that Rogue would ban it, because, again, normally I would expect Schalke to ban it themselves. But in any case,
okay.
The Lilia ban, to me, says that you don't need to ban Lucian. Yeah, okay, cool. So, with Lilia gone, I think that you no longer have any AP junglers, which means that Lucian as a mid laner becomes a lot less scary, basically.
Yep.
So that means that Rogue can shift their bans and take the Orianna away. Now, I would expect a Hecarim lock-in. I think that Hecarim's still obviously very strong. You could also do Volibear. But I think that Hecarim and Udyr generally are stronger.
I mean, Gilius is always towards Hecarim out of those. He's actually only played Volibear once, does have 100% win rate on it, but there is the Hecarim. Now the question is, as much as there aren't many AP junglers left, Nidalee does still exist.
It's Udyr.
Is it Udyr Lucian?
It's not going to be Udyr. No, I just don't think Lucian's going to be picked. Okay. Personally, Medic. I think that Lucian is going to fall off unless Rogue do the C9, which they won't, never mind. Yeah, so they're going to stick with the Udyr, kind of as expected. My next question is, will we see a Kai'Sa will we see?
Oh.
A blind Viktor. I hate it. I hate it.
I mean, it's a surprise.
I hate it.
Larssen hasn't played Viktor at all. Azir is open, and he could have just gone to, hey, I'm the Emperor of Shurima land, which Larssen is so good at, but instead, blind Viktor.
Ugh.
With the Orianna ban, it makes a little bit of sense, but it's still not too inspiring a champion.
So there are a few things here, and I'll try and like run through them. So the first thing is Viktor as a champion doesn't generate any prio at all in the early game. He's not a champion until he gets his first upgrade with his E, which he doesn't normally get until about 10 minutes because he needs 100 things, right? So Viktor generally has 0 lane priority, which is why many pros don't actually play it because of how weak it is in lane. Now, with Orianna gone, as you rightly said, like sure, he becomes a little bit stronger, but you can do the same thing with Azir. Azir is a good champion at getting lane prio. May struggle a little bit against tanks in the current meta because the only good build is the Luden's Echo build after the nerfs to Azir. I mean, obviously they're not going to lock that in now. But yeah, so this to me suggests that is a Gragas support, but obviously it can be flexed up towards the top side of the map as well. So the reason why I think they've done Viktor, and the reason why we've spoken so much about this, is because they want to counter pick bot lane. I think that they wanted to blind pick something, and they wanted to save the counter to seeing what the enemy locked in. And so the whole goal here for Rogue is to make sure that Hans Sama gets a winning matchup in AD carry, and also then Odoamne can get a better matchup in top lane. Twisted Fate was open, man. Okay. Well, they blind picked Viktor and Twisted Fate. Okay, whatever. Anyway, moving on.
Viktor's a bit safer than Twisted Fate usually, though, right?
I disagree. Okay. No, I think Twisted Fate is just so much better than Viktor, like everywhere. Anyway, I'll stop. Viktor is locked in. Strong team fighter later on into the game, totally fine. Schalke have a very strong dive comp already. Hecarim, Rell, Kai'Sa, all very good at getting onto the backline. We already heard Kaiser talking about how like he wanted to see Neon living on a little bit more of an aggressive bot lane, and I think they're going to get it. My concern comes from what will the counter pick be? Will we basically see the Ashe ban? No, we will not. Okay, so now I expect Hans Sama to lock in his AD carry.
And then you save the counter pick for Odoamne in the top lane. It makes a lot of sense. The Gragas obviously good into the Rell, which is why we think it's support. You can body slam her out of her knockup. Makes it a lot harder for her to find those engages. Hans Sama has a slew of AD carries at his fingertips. Things like the Aphelios, the
Kalista, I was thinking it.
Kalista.
I was thinking the Kalista to myself. And I was like, but does it actually make sense here? Because there's so much dive that maybe it's not good to lock it in. And they're going to wait. They're going to wait and see what else is locked in. So they really want to make sure that Hans Sama has the best possible matchup depending on the comp. Because again, when there's this much dive, champions like Ashe become a lot harder to play, right? When the Hecarim is ulting, oh my god, and it's Nocturne mid to die, get to cast. Maybe it's Nocturne top, but it doesn't matter.
Why would you do this to me, God?
I'm so happy. Oh my word, yes, Schalke. Oh! Yes, Schalke.
Okay,
Schalke.
Calm down.
Come on. Come on, Schalke.
I look at that.
No!
If it was Renekton, I would have been very worried for their magic damage, because they would have basically none, right? Like the Kaiser can build a little bit of magic damage. There's the Ryze. It's going to be Ryze mid, Nocturne top, Hecarim in the jungle. So you have no knowledge of Nocturne, obviously, in the top lane.
No, I do actually. I know him super well in top lane.
We'll talk about that when we get into the game then.
Ooh, Samira, I love it. What else are we going to get? So many AD carry hovers right now. So what makes the most sense? Okay, so there's obviously a lot of dive. Okay, I don't like Kalista here. So I generally overall prefer Schalke's comp. I think that what they have is very, very powerful dive. And this whole composition is about, you know, obviously getting onto the backline and murdering them. Now, Kalista as a champion, very good at kiting. Now, okay, thinking more about it, Gragas, powerful disengage. Viktor W, pretty good disengage. If Gnar has ultimate, yeah, okay, I can see it. So maybe it'll come down to execution. I want to see a fight or two to see how things play out. Maybe there's a couple things that I'm missing. But the one thing that I can say is that if I am Nocturne and I look at that Kalista, I'm like, she's dead. I'm like, there is no way that this Kalista is ever getting away from me. If I have Stridebreaker and I have my ult up, no, she just doesn't escape. It doesn't matter.
Stridebreaker, obviously the AoE slow, also helping a huge amount to catch out Kalista. Even reduces her attack speed, because of course her attack speed is based on how often she is jumping around. And as much as there is disengage on the side of Rogue, you have to think that Schalke have so many dive threats. You can Paranoia, jump in. If that gets disengaged, Onslaught of Shadows comes in. If that gets disengaged, Rell comes in. Kai'Sa dives onto the backline. And that Kalista is a very juicy target. Schalke changing things up just a little bit for this second game here versus Rogue. Vedius favors the Schalke draft. We'll see how it ends up playing out. Game 2 of this series up next.
All right, step aside, medic. I have been training my little
life. Put your little emote on the screen at least.
My little emote. Oh,
yeah, put your emote on the screen.
Yeah, it's yeah, nice.
Vedi Poggers! It's Nocturne! Let's go.
It's Nocturne. Nice. All right, so let's have a look. Any level 1 shenanigans, quick look. We can see the deep ward in the bot lane coming out from Limit to see anything sneaky coming out from the Rogue bot lane. We also see that ward in the river that Rogue is aware of. Gilius going to drop that, go back to base, get himself the sweeper. So nothing too crazy, everything pretty standard. And before I do my deep dive onto Nocturne, I want to talk about, like, once again, Schalke's comp. My concern when it comes to the mid lane matchup for Rogue is that Larssen doesn't have prio in the early levels.
Not until he gets upgraded.
Yes, so Viktor, for those that don't know, he was changed. Like, you can see his little passive thing, the little 0 next to his mana flow band. Once that reaches 100, he gets his first upgrade, and he needs 300 total to fully upgrade it. You can also get 25 from kills or assists. So any early skirmishes that Viktor gets involved in actually really accelerate him, which is really good for the Viktor. But generally, because, you know, people average 10 CS per minute, you get your first upgrade at about 10 minutes, right? Makes sense. So
Larssen, being one of the best CSs in the league, is probably going to get there around that 10 minute mark.
Yeah, usually. He may even get that a little bit earlier if he's able to steal away some camps maybe, or whatever. So again, Larssen in general doesn't gain a huge amount of lane priority in these early levels. You can see that for now he does have that early push, but once Ryze gets a few more levels under his belt, you'll see that the Ryze is just going to have a lot more agency in that 1 versus 1 matchup. In any case, so that then translates into the jungle matchup. You can see that the junglers, for now, just doing a standard bot to top side clear. The bot lanes are going to be ignored for the time being, which I'm a little surprised with from Rogue's perspective. I would have thought that Inspired would want to be bot side early because I generally expect Kalista lanes to be able to get early prio, and you can see this should be level 2 off of this minion. Which then they're immediately going to use to force the Schalke bot lane back. So there's that early prio that we somewhat expected in the bot lane. So Inspired pathing up towards the top, he may have to backtrack and then go back towards that bot scuttle, because with the prio that the Nocturne does have, and the Ryze is going to get once he hits level 3, which he just now has, means that that top lane is going, that top scuttle is going to be a little bit harder to contest.
You can see Gilius is spotted on a ward as he gets towards his blue buff. He's about 8 to 10 seconds behind Inspired in terms of pathing. Inspired already on his Krugs. Gilius just a camp behind or so.
So, with all that said, top lane. Now, some of you might be surprised as to why Nocturne is even being played top lane at all. Nocturne is an incredibly powerful duelist, right? He has often struggled when it comes to builds because there are very few builds that give him enough damage to actually threaten a backline when he's diving in a team fight, while also making him tanky enough to actually sustain in the bruiser meta. But he has always been a very powerful duelist, largely because of his Q. His Q gives him so much AD in the early game. It gives him 20 at level 1, 30 at level 2, 40, and up to 60. So at level 9, he just gets 60 attack damage from his Q.
He has to stand on the trail.
He does have to stand on the trail, but it's so much base AD that you don't need items to actually trade effectively, right? So against champions like Gnar, you might think, well, okay, surely he struggles. But because when you're on the Q, you're actually able to keep distance because you get bonus movement speed when you're landing onto another target, it actually makes landing the fear that much easier, and then you have this really powerful trading tool. So the thing that has risen Nocturne in prominence pretty much throughout the world, for those that didn't see over in the LPL, they were even first picking Nocturne for the jungle. It was pretty crazy.
You're so proud of the fact
this
champ is getting picked so often.
Is this stride breaker. Now, Doenby was actually the player that popularized the build, but this is the build that makes him so much more impactful, right? And we're going to get to see it later. I will highlight it more when we get to see it later. But once he gets stride breaker, and then when he gets Sterx, that is where he becomes truly powerful. But for now, it's about the bot lane. Inspired is looking for a gank.
Neon Neon and Limit. There's Trymbi going in. Limit really no place to go. Attract, Repel, Stun will just slow Rogue for the moment, but First Blood already over to Rogue, and Inspire's still on the chase here. The bear slap onto Neon's just trying to force him away from as many minions as possible.
So, I was surprised that Inspired was pathing towards top. What he actually did was a bot side clear up towards top side clear, then game and got his crab bot, did a reset, and then just immediately ganked bot on the bot side of the map. Schalke is looking to do the cross map play as they threaten Odoamne, often on the weak side of the map, but of course Schalke did see that Inspired was in bot lane, and because Ryze is able to get this prio, they're able to look for this play and deny Gnar some minions.
And as much as the champs might be different, we're still seeing the same playstyle from both teams. Larssen flashes away from Gilius, who was coming in with the Ghost. Limit was there as well to look for a follow-up stun if Larssen had overextended. But it's the same idea. Rogue focusing around their bot lane, getting Hansama and Trymbi ahead. Schalke focusing around their top lane, giving BrokenBlade the lead. Throughout the course of the season, that is what worked for Schalke. Remember his Urgot games. Remember his pentakill on the Darius just last week. If BrokenBlade can get ahead, he can really get a stranglehold on a game of League of Legends. Right now, Odoamne trying to trade with him, about 7 CS behind.
So you can see how much damage he can do.
Larssen has no flash. Limit going in. Trymbi's trying to join here as well, but he doesn't have the flash, and there's the root, and there's the gravity well. Larssen trying to survive, is going to walk back. Now has the Chaos Storm, and Inspire's going to join the fight. Chaos Storm doing a lot of work. Limit really has no place to go. Flashes away. Trymbi down to 200 HP. The spell flux not enough. And in the end, no one dies in the skirmish.
Huge props to Larssen there, recognizing that with all the dive, if he just drops his W on top of himself, both Limit and Gilius are getting it stunned up, so he's able to get away from that one. But now, the support jungle duos are fighting. Abbedagge is going to push in that mid wave, should be able to join first. We also see Neon roaming up from the bot lane. Hasn't quite joined yet. AD carry's not there.
BrokenBlade's also hiding a bush in case he needs to TP in. Let Odoamne push in the wave, doesn't have to TP into a fight down towards the bottom side, so he can just catch that wave and push it back out.
Okay, so overall, Rogue do have an early game gold advantage, but you can see them gaining advantages in top and in mid. Abbedagge is continuing to get the push in this 1-versus-1 matchup. We can see that Larssen right now at 53 stacks. If Larssen was actually, if they were able to get a kill there, that would have, of course, accelerated the Viktor, putting him a little bit more powerful a little bit earlier on, but nothing too crazy. This isn't going to convert into any objectives either. Oh. BrokenBlade is level 6, but I actually think, ooh, oh, interesting. Okay.
Good noises, good noises.
Well, so the, one of Nocturne's biggest, fun fact number 1 about Nocturne is he actually has a lot of mana issues. Very small mana pool with high mana costs. So for anyone playing against Nocturne, one of the biggest things and easiest ways to play around him is just keep track of his mana. In any case, Gilius is hovering around the bot side of the map. Hansama and Trymbi going to disengage away from that one. But the reason why I said ooh was because I didn't think BrokenBlade had enough mana to be able to get the kill. But he's taken the Time Warp Tonic rune, which means that when he popped his Corrupting Pot, he immediately got a huge burst of mana back, and then I'm like, oh, now he actually has enough mana to be within kill range, but then Odoamne obviously backed off and decided to reset.
Odo now teleports back into the lane with Ninja Tabi. Oh, plated steel caps. Makes it
good first item against the Nocturne.
It's a lot harder for the Nocturne to trade. Gilius working his way down towards the bottom lane, but it really looks like he's just shadowing Neon and Limit as they try and get a reset off. And Abbedagge continually using this advantage that he has in mid-prio to roam around. However, Larssen farming up well, 74 CS already on the Viktor. As we said earlier, he is one of our best farmers in the league, Vedius. In fact, I know that you actually asked me to do some research on Larssen's farm numbers.
Oh, we did,
across the course of the week. And he's very good at farming.
Yes,
at 5 minutes, he leads the league. At 10 minutes, he's second. At 15 minutes, he's first. And at 20 minutes, he's first. However, he does not have the most farm at 15 of any player in the LEC this season. Who do you think's got it?
It's Abbedagge.
It's Abbedagge. 171 farm at 15 minutes. Abbedagge managed to secure. However, Larssen is more consistent in getting
I was going to say, that's just a peak, not his average.
That's his highest ever across the course of the season.
For sure, for sure. So two big prominent farming mid laners. Of course, Larssen a little bit behind as Abbedagge.
There's the root. Abbedagge is going to have the Attract Repel. Gilius and BrokenBlade working on the Rift Herald. Of course, BrokenBlade with the Paranoia can join the fight.
The pings.
Lickety split as Larssen doesn't have flash back up. The gravity field's going to come out. The fear does land. Abbedagge flashing forward, looking for the damage. They don't quite have enough. Abbedagge taking it up for ages. And he will fall. 1-for-1 trade in the mid lane.
Ooh, they didn't quite have the damage to one-shot Larssen. Which meant that Larssen was able to get a trade back kill. This is going to result in a couple plates going over to Hansama in the bot lane, plates in the top lane for Odoamne as well. And Rogue, even though the ultimate, I think, was good from BrokenBlade, the execution was good, the damage was not. And that means that Rogue continue to maintain their gold lead.
And this game, we're seeing Limit move a lot more out of the bottom lane. However, look at how that is affecting Neon. We'll have a look at his CS numbers after this fight, because this is the second or third time I've seen Limit look for this gank mid.
So good use of the spell shield there so that BrokenBlade doesn't get stunned underneath the tower. Holds a tower aggro for a little bit, but I think he should have waited for one more tower shot. That probably would have been enough for Abbedagge to then get the kill and then maybe get out with his life. But Larssen doing a good job recognizing the situation that he was in and able to trade one back means that he's going to accelerate. He is going to get that upgrade on his E, already starting working towards the next upgrade. And this means that now he has a lot more pressure in the mid lane matchup. He's going to insta-kill those waves and be able to assist his team a little bit more.
And coming back to the point I was starting off before we got into that replay, Neon miles behind now on this Kai'Sa. Limit hasn't been in the lane for a while. He's been roaming around. He's been looking to team up with BrokenBlade. There is a 900 gold difference between the Kalista and the Kai'Sa right now. BrokenBlade has been brought down to the bottom side of the map, and Neon and Limit are now just going to try and get some extra waves top. There is a Rift Herald available for Gilius, and I assume he's going to put it down here top to try and funnel that extra gold back into Neon.
Definitely seems like it. Rogue, though, going to use this opportunity to get some vision in the bot side of the map. They can look to trade it for the Drake. I imagine that's exactly where Inspired is going to head towards right now. But Rogue have the Ryze set on the mid lane.
Abbedagge doesn't have flash and doesn't really have anywhere to go. Limit trying to get in here with his Attract Repel, but can't save his mid laner. Another kill goes over to Rogue. 3-1 on the scoreboard for them. Neon will get a full 3 plates in the top lane, though, so he has been able to get a little bit of gold back.
Good use of his time. Odoamne deciding not to bother going back as an engage comes in mid.
Magnet Storm, the Rampage knocks Larssen back underneath the tower, and there's the Onslaught of Shadows. Inspired walking in, can get the stun, but really doesn't have much more to do here as he has to walk away.
Larssen slightly overstepping there. I think he was trying to get more plates underneath the tower and ends up costing him his life. Inspired will be there to push in the wave, but yeah, big mistake there from Larssen, which Schalke's happy to collect.
I mean, that's something we saw a couple of times from Larssen last week against Mad Lions. Caught out in a side lane, the rest of Rogue collapsed on him to try and help him out, and he died.
Juicy plates, my man. They're so tempting.
They are so... Well, it's just extra gold. Like, if I see, I'm a support man, if I see 160 gold sitting somewhere, I am taking that 160 gold.
Yep, and Larssen, he fell for the bait, which means that Abbedagge, his TP back into lane, means that he'll be able to push out the wave. And I believe he was able to get himself a plate in mid as well. So he should have a slight gold advantage in the mid lane. Both mids suffering from the pressure. Man, being a mid laner in this meta sucks. It is just constant jungle mid lane jungle support roams in the mids. Always the heralds coming down to take away your farm. It's a rough life being a mid laner.
Especially when you pick picks like Nocturne.
Oh no, but then you just insta-clear and you leave. Do you know what I mean?
True. You just have to roam.
Exactly. I mean, look at BrokenBlade. He's out on the map already. He doesn't care about a lane. Instead, he has his ultimate up, and he is looking for jungle camps because he can do those. Fun fact number 2 about Nocturne. When you hit jungle camps, it refreshes your passive by 3 seconds rather than by 1, because he is inherently supposed to be a jungler.
That was a Season 11 change, wasn't it? It was relatively recent.
Well, I think it was Season 10, actually.
Maybe in late 10,
But it was a buff that they tried to give to jungle Nocturne to try and incentivize you to play him a little bit more. Unfortunately, wasn't enough to stop me playing a mid.
Maybe that was the end goal. Just, please, Vedius, please pick something else. Let's have a look at where we are in terms of state of the game, though, Vedi. Actually, gold even between these two teams. Something you don't often see in Rogue games. Even when the kills are low, Rogue tend to get these advantages, tend to get extra plates, extra CS, and you can see Hansama does have a lead over Neon, but the fact that BrokenBlade's been able to roam around has given Abbedagge a lead over Larssen. BrokenBlade actually behind Odoamne now because Odoamne got that kill and has been able to equalize the farm in the top lane. I
like this gold investment from Schalke. Good ult.
Oh, great ult to get the knockback there. And Larssen really doesn't have anywhere to go. Does have the flash, but the gravity field will catch him out. BrokenBlade. Paranoia. Everyone's out to get you, Larssen, as Abbedagge secures the kill. Fate's Call used. Trymbi steps in the way of it. Sorry, Limit steps in the way of it and is immediately knocked back. Hansama takes the kill, and now Neon doesn't have a tower. Doesn't really have anywhere to go. Has to walk all the way back to his tier 2 as BrokenBlade works his way towards top lane. No ult on the Nocturne, trying to dodge away from the boomerang, but even the fear should just be hopped away here by Odoamne. Uses it right at the end, so he's feared underneath his tower.
So, a couple things there. Number 1, there was nothing Larssen could have done about that engage. The Hecarim ultimate behind him to force him to run into mid lane, to then have him get CC'd up, and then BrokenBlade's ultimate comes down on top. is rough. So poor Larssen there, just the life of a mid laner. I like that Schalke gave the kill over to Abbedagge, put a little bit more money into the Ryze. You can see he's now got the Everfrost, and his tier is nearly fully stacked, so they're trying to unlock this mid laner a little bit more. Of course, the consequences of all this means that Hansama and Trymbi find an all-in the bot lane, and they had the better of them in the 2v2 last game. They're doing it once again here with the shield bow already completed. That is a lot of damage that will be mitigated. When there's so much dive coming onto you, I think shield bow makes so much sense on the Kalista, and we'll see how well he can survive, as these fights are only going to get more violent as time goes on.
I mean, throughout the course of the regular season, Hansama and Trymbi were the second best 2v2 bot lane of all of the bot lanes. It was Upset and Hylissang.
When it came to kills.
When it came to kills, yes.
Yep.
When it came to pure 2v2 fighting, you see that showing once again. And now Hansama's trying to take down this top lane tower. Rifthold has spawned once again, and Rogue are looking to secure it. Trymbi here just to add a little bit of an extra body, an extra man to dissuade Schalke from going for any fights.
I'm looking at TPs right now. Odo has it. He's also a level up on BrokenBlade, whose ulti is still on cooldown. But it seems that Schalke don't want to bother risking this fight for the time being. They're just going to push in their waves, secure a couple camps. You can see that BrokenBlade even doing the Krugs in the bot lane as he catches this next wave. And Larssen just playing defensively because he realizes that if Schalke is going to attack anywhere, it's probably him. So he's just going to sit underneath this tower as once things become a little bit more visible, he's going to go back to that wave, push that one out, and Schalke now back on the waves.
So when do you risk a fight as Schalke? Like you don't have to fight over the Rifthold, usually around third Drake. You can fight now?
Yeah, they have still an item advantage in mid, which is probably one of the biggest differentiators. Like, again, I'm referencing the Cloud9 game a lot from last night. Did you get to watch it?
I watched the first 3.
But yeah, the Perks' Ryze can do a lot of damage when he just sit there and play front to back.
His Azir is worse, but his Ryze is okay. So.
Yeah, and I think that the champion has been a little overlooked, honestly. I think that we did see a fair amount of it during the regular season, but as a champ, I think when, especially you're playing against a comp like this, where it's actually not the tankiest, like Gnar in mega form for sure, very tanky, but in mini form, with no real dedicated tank, I think Ryze can really just tear through compositions like this, especially relatively short range ones. So I like the Ryze, and I think the stronger he is, the harder it is for Rogue to be able to play in these upcoming fights.
I mean, especially since Rogue are building predominantly armor as their initial resistance. You've got 2 plated steel caps already complete. Of course, the turbo chem tank does give you a little bit of magic resist as well, but there's not a huge amount stacking up on the side of Rogue. And now with the second dragon of the game spawning, it looks like Schalke will have control over it. Hansama still off towards the top side of the map. Schalke walking into the river by themselves. Here's the paranoia. Limit was looking to get in, knocked back, but there's the engage. And there's just nothing you can do. Fear away from Inspired. Odoamne trying to build up the mega here, but he's already down to about a 3rd HP. Flash in from Abbedagge, and there's the double. Vedi, you set it up perfectly. Abbedagge showing up on the Ryze so far. Will die in the end to the Siphon Power. Neon was not in that fight at all. Schalke still able to come out in a 2-for-1 trade. I think
Schalke greeded a little bit at the very end there, but they will still come out on top. That will be a dragon, that will be 2 kills, and while they will give some gold over with the death of Abbedagge, getting Larssen back into the game just a little bit, the reality is that Schalke's looking good right now. So let's have a look at this. Fun fact number 3 about Nocturne, you can't flash away from his ultimate. Once he has picked a target, he is locked onto you until he connects. And he actually wasn't even aiming for Trymbi. His target was onto the back line, and Trymbi just happened to flash into him. But the chain CC that came out with the Rell, with the Ryze, everything was just beautifully set up from Schalke. And then you can see no Mega Gnar means more damage for Abbedagge. But unfortunately for him, he wasn't quite able to escape as the Chaos Storm came through with the laser firing from Larssen.
You see Neon not in that fight at all. Had the Kraken Slayer already complete for that, so he would have been able to put out a little bit more damage.
Yep, that's Ryze DPS right there.
That is pretty absurd. Neon will be in this fight, though, as Hansama dives in. Trymbi with the face call. Neon flashes away. The cask is just enough. Of course, Kalista spears, even if they're in the air, are cancelled if you lose vision. So if that cast hadn't hit, Neon would have survived at least the auto attack that was flying towards him.
Good stuff coming out from Rogue. They find themselves another pick. Gilius now, the lower extended here. Hail of Blades, good damage from Hansama, but not quite enough to zone him off as, here comes a pick.
Odoamne is about to go mini Gnar as well. You can see Abbedagge is trying to join the fight. Odo tries to flash away, but Vedi, you said it a moment ago, you can't flash away from the paranoia. It will find you, and it will eat you up. Abbedagge with his 5th kill of this game. And if anyone was going to pop off, Abbedagge is showing that Schalke are not out of this series yet. Rogue so dominant in game 1. Schalke have come back fighting. The attract repel just a little bit too far away. Gilius doesn't have the onslaught of shadows. Mid-wave is cleared out by the Ryze, and Rogue will just back away.
Okay, so trading once again cross-map. The TP was invested from Abbedagge, but they do get a kill onto Odo. Abbedagge onto Odoamne.
Yep. They used to be on the same team?
They did used to be on the same team, and BrokenBlade was not the benefactor of the kill, but did assist using his ultimate. Which means that Rogue also got the tier 2 tower in the top lane. And you can see that this game is very much becoming about Hansama versus Abbedagge. Hansama has a lot of damage and has a lot of money. However, Abbedagge is in a very similar position. So the question will be, can Schalke kill Hansama? When I saw these drafts at the beginning of the game, I felt as though Schalke's comp is just easy to execute, has more damage, and also just synergizes insanely well. Like, the dive on this comp is incredibly strong. However, the thing I didn't anticipate was Hansama being what we in the business call giga-fed.
Yeah, it's pretty strong.
It's going to be fun. I'm excited. Like, I still kind of favor Schalke's comp. I think that when there's this much dive, it doesn't matter how giga-fed you are as an AD carry. Your life sucks when you're playing against Hecarim Nocturne. I'm sorry, it just does. And he has the Stride Breaker. He's working towards the Sterax. And now the setup around Baron begins. I don't think this is the objective that's going to be started off. I'm looking at TPs. Odo has it. BrokenBlade has it. I can hear the players getting excited. I feel like the fight's about to come.
Limit has a great position here. Gilius dived on, TP's coming in. There's the Magnet Storm as well, and you can see already the damage is just so big onto Inspired. Odoamne tries to join the fight. BrokenBlade going in with the Paranoia. Hansama forced away. The Fate's call will bring back Trymbi. Limit almost dead, but Odoamne dives across the wall. And now it's on Neon and Abbedagge to try and put the damage down. But the Chaos Storm's going to do a lot. Neon dives in and kills off Hansama. We thought it would be Abbedagge who'd get it, but Neon gets the double. And Schalke find the fight. Odoamne does have the Mega, doesn't have Flash. Gonna chuck a building at Neon, but perhaps a little bit overextended. There goes in with the Gnar. Abbedagge with a stopwatch. The gravity field will lock him in place, but not before Odoamne falls.
Spell Shield from BrokenBlade, Zhonya's from Abbedagge. Both are able to dodge the ultimate from Odo. Beautifully played from Schalke, and you can just see the power of this composition. So the thing is, Gnar joins the fight late, and also the mid laner for Rogue just is not here. So the dive comes through, the ultimate comes out early, BrokenBlade TP's in then afterwards in darkness. Like, look at Larssen, he's just not, he has to TP from there to here just to get involved in the fight, but the fight is basically already over at this point. Hansama isn't quite able to finish off Limit. He then gets a little too close to Abbedagge, who then sets up for Neon to finish the fight, and with him gone, the damage just disappears. And we talked about it, my concerns around this Viktor pick and like how good Schalke's comp is at being able to just dive. It's not easy for Rogue to just play this front to back, and again, Spell Shield plus Zhonya's very well done from the top and mid duo of Schalke. I think Schalke have found a very good formula. Like, you can just see the damage that's coming across the board from their side. So I think that these fights are only going to get harder for Rogue. Hansama now no Flash. Abbedagge only getting stronger. And the dive is only going to get more and more threatening as the game continues.
Yeah, Neon really popping off in that fight as well. It was a little bit of cleanup duty for him, but he is on his most played champion from Spring and continues to impress on it. Now, about 400 gold between these two teams. Both AD carries with 2 items complete. It's the 3rd dragon of the game, but it's only 2 apiece. There's the Paranoia. How'd you get out of it? The darkness surrounds you. The attract repel stun will land. Trymbi going in as well, and Abbedagge is on the back line. And he will rip asunder Rogue. Spell Flux after Spell Flux. Inspired and Hansama, the only 2 left alive, and Gilius is not very willing to leave them like that for long. Limit looking for the jump across the wall, but Gilius will fall. It oversteps just a tad. Neon on the chase. No tower to save them. Abbedagge's already used the round warp, but does have the flash. And the chase is on. Inspired and Hansama trying to do what they can just to delay Schalke from getting anything, and they're doing quite a good job of it. Dustbringer not quite in range.
Back up.
Stridebreaker back up for BrokenBlade. Looks for the slope, and Inspired's like, excuse me, sir, what are you doing? Dustbringer still doesn't connect.
Just get the Drake,
Hansama's
Schalke.
still alive here, Vedius. Hansama and his... They're going to steal the red buff on the way out. Like thieves in the night. Hansama and Inspired laugh in the face of Schalke.
Okay, well...
They don't get the Drake.
That was a colossal waste of time from Schalke.
I don't think they get this.
I mean, look, Rogue's respawning now.
I don't think they get this. Abbedagge's going to start.
Okay.
Okay, maybe they do get it. Inspired flashes away. Limit Looking for some damage here, but here comes Trymbi. And there's no jungler here. Gilius is coming back from base.
It's fine.
It will be given to Schalke.
Okay,
You lose
cool.
a red buff, you get a Drake. That's the rules.
Yeah, there was a lot of time wasted from Schalke, but all ends in victory. In any case, let's have a look at this. So Schalke's like, okay, we can just engage whenever we want now, and look at that. The ultimate comes in. So watch Hans Summer in this fight, okay? So Hans Summer literally can't see or hit anyone, so he's just hitting the Scuttle Crab. He's not doing any damage. Meanwhile, the rest of his team is just dying because of how easy it is for the entire team to dive. Like, Nocturne's broken. Look how broken this champion is.
It's very strong. I agree with you, Vedius.
I'm telling you, man. Nocturne, the future.
Importantly, though, the Scuttle Crab gave Hans Summer enough movement speed to get over and kill Gilius quickly enough. That's why they escaped. So Hans Summer with the 5-head plays. I will bring attention to Abbedagge, though. The Zhonya's and the Seraphs with the Everfrost. Complete Everfrost, of course, great into Kalista as well, because you slow her, and her attack speed goes down. He is in such a strong position and is really putting this Schalke team on his back so far.
So I remember when Abbedagge got nothing but relentless abuse online.
Yep.
People thought that he just could not compete at this level, but I feel he has only gotten better over time. He's having a fantastic split, and he's the big carry!
Oh, the Magnus Storm. Abbedagge's not even here. Neon just dishing out the DPS. He goes on a rampage. Hans Summer is the second to fall. A double for Neon. Odoamne's going to try and jump his way away. Limit falls as well, but quick 2 kills there, and Schalke are on the chase. Odoamne trying to get away, but the Rune Prison will lock him in place. He flashes out with the Gnar and just about survives. Wow.
Incredible team fight once again from Schalke. This is what we talked about, right? It's so straightforward. Everyone just presses R, except for Abbedagge, who presses all his other buttons, and he just does a lot of damage. Very well executed from Schalke from start to finish. Like, the early game did not look super great for them, but Neon has been able to bounce back. The entire team is full of gold. Now, this is Rogue's last chance. They're going to try and deny this Baron. They will stop it. The Rogue TP was enough to deny them. Schalke decided they're not going to take any more gambles because they know they win every fight. 0-0-12 on BrokenBlade. And let's just have a look at this, like, oh.
That's just gorgeous.
So good.
This is a 4v5 this entire time.
Yep.
And now it's a 5v5 after they've already basically killed the 2 players that died in the fight.
Yeah, and of course, like, the fact that Limit dies, that's kind of his purpose, you know? He's done his job, the CC has been applied, so there's nothing really left for him to do. It doesn't matter if he dies, the team fight is won. Odoamne doing a good job of getting out at the very end there, but yeah, just incredible play coming out from Schalke.
I do want to come back to that point about Abbedagge, though, because when he joined the scene, it was we had Nemesis, we had Humanoid, we had Abbedagge all joining. Well, no, not Humanoid. Larssen, Nemesis, Larssen, and Abbedagge all joined around. Was it Humanoid?
Joined before Larssen.
Oh, sorry, it did. They all joined around the same time, and it was kind of trying to work out which of them would step up. They were meant to be the next generation of EU mids, and we saw Nemesis have a relatively good season. We saw Humanoid go to Worlds, and Abbedagge was always like the little brother who never really managed to reach those successes. But in 2020 summer, he really started to show up. People started calling him Abbedagge, and when we got into playoffs, once again, he is showing up. He is performing at a very high level in this game and has been throughout the rest of playoffs.
I mean, a lot of people also said that he was a like a scrim online player too. You know, he was one of the players that many people believe benefited the most from this. But I think that he's only gone from strength to strength, and huge credit to him because he definitely has become one of the top mids in Europe and is looking to take his team to a top 3 position to face G2 next week in the semi-finals. Right now, Schalke have the lead. They're grouping up in the top side jungle. They have a bot wave pushing, they have a top wave pushing, and Rogue are kind of being routed across the map right now. Rogue looking for anything, but their engage is not the strongest. We're yet to see a strong mini Gnar converted into Mega Gnar ult from Odoamne yet. And the ult has already been used from Hans Summer, so for now, Schalke just going to disengage. They know the Drake spawns in 50 seconds. Gilius could be in danger, forced to ult to safety.
I mean, that's okay. He's got his ult will be back up in time for the next Drake, I believe. I think it's about a 60-second cooldown at level 14.
Well, seeing as we have time, fun fact.
Oh, here we go.
The Nocturne number 4.
Was this number 4? I thought this was number 3.
No, we're on number 4.
Okay, cool.
Nocturnes, some people believed that if you landed your Q before your ult connected, because it gives you bonus AD, you would do even more damage with your ult.
Doesn't.
This is incorrect.
Yeah.
The amount of ult damage that your ultimate does is determined by the the starting cast points. So if
it's
you
like if you ult into your own fountain, sell your items mid-ult and land, you actually do as much damage as when you initially had your items? Okay, cool.
But if you want to maximize the damage of your ult, you Q first, and then you ult while on top of your Q. But of course, that will be overall less damage because then your Q won't hit your target upon landing.
I mean, that makes sense.
But if you ever wanted to just execute someone and you're worried about how much damage you had, you could just press Q into ult. But even then, I still think it's less damage. In any case, that was fun fact. I have so many more that we will use if there's an opportunity. As the Drake did go down in favor of Schalke. The ultimate comes through from Hansama to no effect once again. Rogue were hoping to catch Schalke in a phase check of the Baron, but they did not fall for the trap. BrokenBlade now split pushing in the bot lane.
Yeah, should just be able to push up this wave pretty quickly. Has the Sterax and the Stridebreaker complete. You always talk about this as the strongest point for a Nocturne. Yep. Basically, you can kill an AD carry and you're pretty unkillable if you dive into the back line.
Correct.
Schalke here having a strong performance in Game 2. Remember, this is the Elimination Series. One of these teams is going home. We will not be able to fight against G2 for a chance to get into finals. Odoamne, of course, the third place Lord, I guess, has made 5 third places throughout the history of his LEC career. Has never gone past third, so he'll be trying to change that title by getting past third, not by not making it.
I mean, yeah, and this isn't even the third place position.
No, this is fighting to get to the third place position.
Yep, and Schalke right now putting up a strong fight. Here comes the Ghost.
Gilius going in, track repel onto the limit, and they just turn immediately. Inspired just can't go anywhere. The Paranoia coming out. Oh, BrokenBlade! He cancelled him! Oh, okay, did you know that?
So I did, but not in the same way that... So I've cancelled my ultimate multiple times by clicking it accidentally, but I've never done it deliberately like that. So, okay, fair play, BrokenBlade, I like it.
So in case you didn't realize what he did, Paranoia in, Stridebreaker out when he realized he'd be overextending if he connected with the full Paranoia. Now Schalke going to start up the Baron Rogue. Have the opportunity to fight it, but they don't have a jungler, they don't have a smite, and they don't really have a way of getting into the pit. Limit actually has a really good flank position here. Hansama's been hit, and there goes Limit. Magnus Storm coming out. Neon could dive in with the killing that she already used. And Abbedagge going in with the Realm Warp on the back line, and Odoamne trying to dance around, do what he can. But he is forced away. Abbedagge flashes in. Trymbi, just about able to survive, and Larssen with a flash gets the kill onto Abbedagge. Perhaps a little bit too hyphy there from the Ryze in the mid lane.
Yep, Abbedagge gets a little overconfident, but the fight is still won regardless. They kill Hansama once again. They have the Baron buff, and they're looking to knock onto these tier 2 towers. Schalke, with a strong comp, are able to get the better of Rogue this time around. They've found consistently strong fights. Rogue have struggled in the second half of this game. And Schalke looking to tie up this series. So let's have a look at where this started. They see Inspired behind. Gilius immediately changes course, does a 180. And is able to get that kill. And then you see the Stridebreaker cancel coming out from BrokenBlade, realizes, you know what, I'm not going to take that. And then the ward here from Limit gets put in. The teleport is available on Nocturne. And Limit's just waiting. He waits, he catches Hansama out, drags him in.
I want to say that's a waste of a teleport because they literally realm warped next to him. He could have just taken the realm warp.
I did wonder how Ryze also got there when he didn't have TP and he just realm warped in. So yeah, you know what? But style points, of course. Abbedagge does of course cost him his ult.
I think any Nocturne player just gets a free pass from you. It seems like you can make a few mistakes in game.
He has not died once. Oh, Randuin's third. Yes, yes. This is the item, because now AD carries don't get to play the game. It doesn't matter.
Kalista.
It doesn't matter what you are. If you're a Jinx, if you're an Ashe, if you could be Xayah, you just don't get to play the game. I'm sorry. Sucks to be you. Pick a different role. This champion is just so good at just locking down AD carries, and when there's this much dive to follow up, it is extremely effective.
And what's gone so well for Schalke in this game is Limit being freed up, him being able to roam around. You've seen, even after that Baron fight, his perfect engage from behind Hansama. Like the fact that Vogue didn't know he was there. It's BrokenBlade being able to lead top lane, influence the map. It's Abbedagge getting this early lead. And Rogue just haven't been able to find the disengages that they found in Game 1. They haven't had that ability to hold Schalke at arm's length. Abbedagge level 18, Trymbi level 12. Right now, a 6th level advantage. That equates to about 3,600 gold purely in XP for Abbedagge. It's so strong here. Schalke still have the Baron. for the next little while, and they're going for a 1-3-1 split push. BrokenBlade pushing in the bottom lane. Inhibitor towers still remain here for Rogue, so they can hold on, but at a 7,000 gold disadvantage. Question is, how long can they keep their base alive?
So Schalke's comp is a little short-ranged. Sieging is quite difficult. So to me, it looks like that they're just waiting for the Infernal Soul.
Yep.
They have full vision coverage, as our observers are highlighting right now. And yeah, it's just a matter of time for Schalke. They're definitely taking their time. I think that with the gold advantage that they have, honestly, they could dive towers, and they shouldn't be afraid to. With this Infernal Soul, I honestly think that they just should. Obviously, there's the risk of, like, you dive a tower, you throw the game, and from their perspective, they're like, hey, we just wait for Baron, then we can end the game through that, because we know we're going to win every single team fight, but I think there's, like, 5 items on Neon. Like, look at him.
Yep.
6, 1, and 4. He was heavily punished in the early game, but it doesn't matter. He's level 18 now. And as Han Summon, you're like, this is annoying. I destroyed this AD carry, and now he's the most gold in the game.
Actually, 3,000 gold ahead right now. Larssen, even with the 1,000 gold shutdown he got from killing off Abbedagge, is still not topping the leaderboards. However, the further we get into the game, the less those gold differences matter. Of course, right now at 35 minutes, they are still impactful, with it being about 7,000 between
what doesn't change?
Nocturne? Nocturne never changes.
Beautiful Nocturne. Fun fact number 5.
Okay.
His W, right? So with many, it gives you an attack speed buff if you proc the W,
yeah.
right? But if you then use it...
You're going to do the dragon fact, aren't you? You can use it on dragon auto attacks?
Well, that wasn't it. So that was going to be a different one, but that is a good one. So for fun, yeah, okay, fine. Steal a fact. Fun fact 5 and 6. His W, even if you use it and it doesn't block an ability, he doesn't lose the passive attack speeds that he gains from his W. Which for some, there are some abilities where
you lose the passive if you
lose the passive if you use the active, exactly. So Nocturne doesn't. But as you rightly said, Dragon, fun fact number 6, a Dragon auto attack is considered a spell. Therefore, your spell shield can block it.
They are very magical beings.
Yep. So, yeah, 6 fun facts for Nocturne in this game.
And...
would you like another one?
No. I want to talk like this. The loser of this is out. Can I just like not this
right now? Yeah, I'm gonna say like Schalke. If they win, we tie up the series. We're 1-1. We have a really exciting series on our hands because after game 1, I thought that Rogue was just gonna smash Schalke with the performance that they showcased. But Schalke showcasing that they still have a lot more in their drafts and they're still willing to bring things out. Maybe we even get to see the Kai'Sa Nocturne that they brought out against XL in that final weekend. Still yet to be decided. Rogue right now grouping up as 5. Schalke have pushed in bot, pushed in top. BrokenBlade sitting on a control ward, waiting, lying in wait. Doesn't actually have a far sight, which I really like. Helps give you a little bit more insight, makes your ultimate a little bit more impactful.
He is now on vision. You can see a little bit of the limit of Schalke's sieging potential. They are just
I think they should just fight. They should just fight.
Yeah, but they're going to force Rogue to come into darkness to try and fight around the Baron. You can see Rogue have no vision.
Really they can just
Vedius, for a man who likes a champion that shouts darkness, you don't seem to be enjoying the fact that Schalke are playing around it. BrokenBlade here in the mid lane. Schalke already got that Baron down to about 7,000 HP. Inspired does have the flash smite if he wants to get in. There's the Paranoia. Who are you looking for? Odoamne is building up Mega here. They try and dive on the backline. BrokenBlade already down to half HP. The onslaught of the shadows. Gnar onto the backline. The stuns. They're diving in. The Magnus Storm from Limit will delay the fight for just a moment, and Abbedagge is able to survive because of it. Watch Abbedagge, watch Neon, because Hans Summer and Larssen are still alive in this fight. It's a double for Neon as he snipes off Trymbi. Neon's going to get taken out in the end.
Wait a minute.
And that was all on Odoamne. He found a perfect Gnar into double wallop, and now Rogue have turned it around. You didn't want them to fight around darkness. Well, Rogue wanted the fight. BrokenBlade TP's back into this. Larssen half, Inspired down to about 10% HP. BrokenBlade with the Dustbringer. Diving forward. Won't be able to get close enough. BrokenBlade clears out the Baron pit and keeps it aggroed. Abbedagge starts it back up.
Now it looks like Rogue, are they going to give this one up? I feel like that they have to.
I don't think they knew it was happening.
Oh, the TP coming through from Larssen, and once again, Schalke now back off the Baron. Both teams hesitant to commit to this objective. But I have to talk about the execution of that dive. Diving onto Larssen is the wrong target, in my opinion, for BrokenBlade. He should always go for Hansama because he is the primary damage dealer. But look at what Viktor does here. So he ignores the AD carry, goes onto the back. Gilius tries to follow up, but he's immediately going to shield up, get a huge amount of damage, and then he's going to drop his W, right? Meanwhile, Odoamne onto the back line is going to CC up 2 of the primary carries. And like, the fight was just disjointed. There wasn't that same level of commitment that we've seen so many times from Schalke where they're all diving onto the same target. The fact that Odoamne had that opportunity to swing the fight in his favor, along with the fact that Larssen just tanked up the Nocturne, like, that went so well for Rogue that it still gives them a chance. The problem is, still fighting against Infernal Soul. Like, that was a good fight for them, but at the end of the day, it may have been too little too late. I suppose the good news is Viktor has a death cap now. You also have 3 items finished for Odoamne, so like, you know, you mentioned it earlier, the gold starts to mean less. I kind of washed it off because I thought that Schalke had this game in the bag, but that gold means less now.
From this point on, Neon doesn't matter what gold he gets, he's full build. Abbedagge doesn't matter what gold he gets, he's full build. Like, get 500 for an elixir and that's all that matters. Larssen can get stronger. Hansama can get stronger. Abbedagge can get caught out, still has the flash, pops the stopwatch, just gonna flash across the wall here. You have to get out of there, but that's his summoner burn. There's no flashes for anyone but BrokenBlade. No flashes for anyone but Hansama and Odoamne, and now Schalke trying to push in mid. Inhibitor tower still stands. Remember, they didn't break that with the Baron push before. 20 seconds on the Elder Dragon. Trymbi maybe a little bit too far forward here. Darkness, though, once again for Rogue. They have one ward in the river that will spot out Schalke if they go towards the Baron, but it's a 5v5 mid. They're looking for the team fight. BrokenBlade has the ultimate. As you say, Elder up in just 10 seconds time. Schalke, this is the moment, really. These are the moments where you prove that you can fight in the top 3. These are the moments where you prove you can fight with the best in Europe. You have had the lead for the entire game, but you have to close. Neon going to the Elder alone. Rogue do not realize it's happening. That Elder down to half, and Rogue now trying to step forward. The Elder tipping away, 1/3 left on it, and Gilius comes across for the smite. Elder Dragon secured, now Rogue have to back off. You can't fight this at all. Explosive cask used for the disengage. And Schalke will turn their eyes to the Baron, knowing Rogue can't take a fight.
Really smart decision. I was hoping that Schalke would do that, knowing that they had the priority in the mid lane, they had more control over their sides, meant that they could just send Neon off to solo the objective. He's able to secure it, and now Rogue don't want to gamble the fight here at the Baron. Instead, they're going to take the last-ditch fight at their base. Schalke not bothering to reset. There's no money for them to spend, really.
Yeah, what's the point? You've got 5 items on your AD carry mid.
They're looking to end the game right here, right now. The push in mid is going to come through from BrokenBlade. They have a small wave up top. Rogue, let's see if you can hold the line. I feel like at this point, the game should be over. But perhaps Rogue can find the miracle. Perhaps they are the ones that can outplay. Remember, Schalke sieging, not the strongest, still very short range. If they overstep, I feel like Schalke need to commit to something here.
Importantly, the cannon minions do have that extra range, take reduced damage from enemies. Schalke now pushing in. Gilius rampaging his way towards that front line. Inhibitor down in the top lane now. Rogue give it up. They know they don't need a fight. BrokenBlade can work his way towards bot lane now if he wants. Keep that two-pronged approach with BrokenBlade in the side lane, but instead they pop the paranoia.
Nice, very good.
Force them off the inhibitor tower. BrokenBlade goes in, dashes back out with the stride breaker. 2 inhibitors down now on this push. They're going to realm warp the minions across to get the 3rd inhibitor tower. And the Elder Dragon still remains. As you say, Vedius, this macro from Schalke, absolutely sublime. 11,000 gold ahead, and Infernal Drake in their back pocket, Neon diving in, and there comes the Elder! That's the reason the Rogue could not take a fight for the last 2 minutes. And that is Odoamne sent packing for the next 53 seconds.
You can see BrokenBlade going back to base as well. He's going to TP back in, bring some minions with him. And Rogue, they're at their last defense. Only 1 tower stands as Schalke look to equalize the score.
Schalke can just walk it in. The Magnet Storm finds all 4. And Neon laps up the kills. Abbedagge gets 1, BrokenBlade gets another. And Schalke take the 2nd game in the series.
All right, so it took Schalke a little while to close that one out. Definitely a little bit closer than it perhaps needed to be in the end game. But good stuff from Schalke. I really like their draft. We talked about it in Champ Select, how the whole goal was to just dive, team fight and dive, and they did a great job. They fell behind a little bit in the early game, but they were making good cross-map plays. Their investment in the early Herald to funnel more gold onto Abbedagge, and yeah, they basically all stepped up. They did a great job. Very impressive performance from Schalke, and they're keeping this series interesting, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. After game 1, I think we had a chat backstage, and it felt very much like Rogue, if they kept doing that, it was going to be a very quick day. It was going to be like a quick 3-0 for Rogue if they continue to play like that, but Schalke able to show up. They answer back in game 2, and in a few minutes, Drakos and Kaiser will break down some of the key fights.
When the sun goes up, when the sun goes down, it's been 6 days now with insomnia. Try to touch my skin, but I feel nothing. I just think of you, don't know what to do. Clock is ticking now when I hear this sound, like an empty song playing all day long. And I move my feet, but I feel no beat. I pretend to smile, but I cry inside. Tell me how will I ever learn to love again? Tell me how will I ever learn to love again? When the sun goes up, when the sun goes down, all the things I do to get rid of you. Try to make new friends, try to go outside, and I act okay, but it's not the same. Tell me how will I ever learn to love again? Tell me how will I ever learn to love again? How, baby, I need to know. Tell me how, 'cause my heart's icy cold. Tell me how will I ever learn to love again? Tell me how will I ever learn to love again? Tell me how will I like a hammer on a drum, like footprints in the sand. From the moment we are born, there's an imprint on your hand.
Welcome back to the LEC studios where Schalke tied up this series with the win. I'm Drakos, joined by Kaiser for an in-depth look at what exactly happened in Game 2. Naturally, we have to kick things off with the draft. I think a big shift for both sides in this Game 2, Kaiser. I want to know specifically what stood out the most to you. What did you like most from what Schalke brought to the table?
So what I really liked, what I also talked about on the desk, is that they opted into picking Kai'Sa. I think Kai'Sa fits their style way better than Desire, because like it just offers so much, like dive as well. For example, if you watch a lot of those team fights later in the game, Desire wouldn't be able to hit those like targets that Kai'Sa can hit, because like if Hecarim is diving deep, if Rell is diving deep, Xayah doesn't really want to do that, and the Kai'Sa just makes so much more sense with the...
Yeah, and you saw how effective it was, but across the board, I think one of the big picks that stood out to me, and obviously Vedius not surprised, he's been waiting for Nocturne forever, was, you know, you have the combination of the Nocturne top and the Ryze mid. I think a pretty dramatic shift in this game overall, and while Rogue certainly had some strengths in the early game, it felt like overall as a composition, Schalke just had a very easy time executing in these fights.
I mean, for sure. I think the Nocturne top was actually a really good adaptation, because especially in the low range comp of that Rogue had, I think it makes a lot of sense, because Kalista can't really free hit anyone if she doesn't see anything, and like Gragas has a hard time, for example, aiming the Kalista ult, you know, and especially if you can burst someone down at the start of the fight in those 6 seconds of the vision denial, I think it's a really strong draft by Schalke.
Yeah, and across the board, it felt like a stronger performance from Schalke. Now, as we take a look at these first fight, well, it wasn't really the first fight, but it was the flashiest fight and certainly the most controlled fight from Schalke. They highlighted it pretty well on the cash list, but we want to highlight it here as well. Now, setting the stage here, Kaiser, as we get into this replay, what are you looking at? Kind of what are your expectations happens when you see the game state as it is?
So right now, both teams kind of want to set up for Dragon. Gilius is looking for a flank, Nocturne is looking for a flank. So what I like about Rogue is that they're sticking together, like they're not coming from like different flanks. That's what you have to do against Nocturne, as you will just get picked off. What I don't like about Rogue is that Odoamne has no Mega Gnar, like he is not even close to it. So what Schalke does really well is identify that, and they're just pulling the trigger like instantly. And yeah, I mean, like Gilius just sees the opportunity. He knows Odoamne is really far from Mega. They have so much range. Like you see, like all of these players, they are not even close, but they can still follow up on this deep engage. And right here, like you can see, their whole front line is completely zoned out of the fight because they're feared back into the river. Viktor is in the middle of 4-5 players. Rell is coming in from the side. She can like get a three-man ulti here. Kalista on the side. She's nearsighted. She can't really hit anyone. Like it's just a perfect engage by Schalke, I would say.
Yeah, absolutely. So many of their key carries are eliminated, and of course, one of the big things that you highlighted, and we'll see as this replay continues through, one of the reasons that you like the Kai'Sa, especially in the hands of Neon, is he is instantly into the back line, as highlighted too. Odoamne not really getting an opportunity to use the Mega Gnar, or at least it comes in quite late, all things considered. So Schalke just able to meat grind through the entirety of the Mad Lions lineup, and for the rest of the game, it feels like because of this lead, all of the fights were just as easy as this one, even if, admittedly, this was the best example of execution. The rest were a little bit more scattered. So when you look at this, when you look at what Rogue have had to contend with, what is the adaptation from the side of Rogue? Because it seems like you can't fault Hansama for not hitting anything. That's just the reality of playing against Nocturne. Yeah. Rogue walking to the choke, sadly, is something that they had to do the second they see the Hecarim coming. So what is the actual adaptation when you think about the fights coming forward in the future matches?
So I think the problem was that Rogue's carries were pretty short-ranged, and they didn't really have that much appeal for them. Like Viktor would always die to like a Nocturne Hecarim combo if he doesn't have flash, especially. Same with Kalista, she can't really like hit that easily. Like she's really weak to dive. So what I would like to see is maybe a Xayah come in from Hansama, even though it's like not as lane dominant. I think it can really like stall the engage from Hecarim, from like even Kai'Sa, right? If she jumps in, you can just ult, you can flash behind her, like just one-shot her. So I think the Xayah might be a good pickup for Rogue now if the draft continues like this, but I think Rogue will choose blue side again, so maybe they can deny the Hecarim, the Hecarim, the engage come from Schalke, so maybe we don't see this draft again.
Well, and as predicted, Rogue did in fact select blue side Kaiser, so good call out. Of course, there is one final fight that we want to look at, the Schalke Baron fight at 21 minutes. This one, not quite as coordinated, not quite as, finding the 5-man ultis, everyone fighting in a choke fight, but you can see that even as this composition built a lead, this is the other thing I want to call out, because Kaiser, you said it when we were backstage, the Ryze against this composition, against all of these short-range champions, is going to be a terror. And here's a fight where we just saw Abbedagge do so much damage.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Like Ryze usually has a lot of trouble into long-range comp, into the Vel'Koz, into the Xerath maybe. But in this game, the only thing he has to worry about is Viktor, I guess, because Viktor is like the only like high-range carry, semi-high range, because not even Viktor is at high range. So what he can do is like he can just snare the first target, they all collapse on them, and he also is really protected by this like Nocturne pick, because like the Nocturne just makes it so hard for Rogue to ever like dive in, right? And because they're also getting dived on, so it's just really hard to get onto this Ryze, and he's just pumping out the damage.
And of course, this ended up being one of the earlier fights in the game where the execution wasn't quite as clean, but you can obviously see the threat that Abbedagge poses when he is given the Ryze. I'm not a big fan of the Viktor in general, but I certainly love that Abbedagge found a way to punish it. How important do you think mid lane is going to be in this series? Because Abbedagge has really stepped up, and we've seen bot lane, while explosive, isn't always the deciding factor in the team fights.
I mean, mid lane right now is just kind of a bot in a way, that he needs to get prior, like the mid laner needs to get prior for your jungler to invade a bit. In this game, I think Schalke made a good adaptation, I guess, that they saw the Viktor early in the draft. They went for a dive comp and just focused him down. Like they went for like 3 or 4 ganks on mid lane, forced his flash. He couldn't play aggressive anymore. The Udyr at that point can't really invade anymore because it's too risky. If Viktor like tries to move with him, then he just gets engaged on by Nocturne, right? So it's really hard to play for him. And I would like maybe a bit more mobility in mid lane. Like I think early picking Viktor is maybe a bit of a problem for them because it's just so easy to counter, right? So yeah, I like Schalke's draft for sure, and I think they made a really good adaptation.
Yeah, Schalke finding a winning formula on the blue side. We'll see how crucial mid lane is in the upcoming matches, or maybe it returns to being a story of bot lane. Either way, it is 1-1 in a do-or-die series, as both teams are looking to lock in a spot in the LEC Summer Final. We're going to be back for Game 3 after the break.